This video goes over the distributive property. This allows us to simplify expressions that involve variables and change them from an expression with brackets to an expression without brackets. So in the example, 3 times 5 plus 2, we can, according to BEDMAS, add the numbers inside the bracket first and then multiply them together. We could also distribute the multiplication over addition and subtraction. So we are going to take the 3, multiply it by 5, and multiply it by 2. So we write this as 3 times 5 plus 3 times 2. Now we've got 2 multiplication questions to do. So 15 plus 6, which also gives us 21. We can also do this with division. So we can either do it numerator first. So 21 minus 15 is 6. Divide by 3 gives us 2. Or we can distribute division equally over division as well. So I can write it as 21 divided by 3 minus 15 divided by 3, which gives me 7 minus 5, which is 2. So let's try some examples that involve variables. So we are going to expand, which means that we're going to multiply or get rid of the brackets and then collect any like terms that we might have. So I'm going to take the 3, multiply it by x, the 3, and multiply it by 2. So I have 3 times x plus 3 times 2, which is 3x plus 6. No like terms, so I can't go any further. My next example has a y. 5 times y. 5 times minus 3 times 3. And then I get 10y minus 15. No like terms, I can't simplify any further. Example C is the same, except I have 3 things in the brackets. So 6 times minus 2x, 6 times 3y, and then 6 times minus 4. So my first, then 6 times 3y, and then minus 6 times minus 4. What do I have here? So plus 6 times minus 4. There we go. Now I'm going to answer each of those problems. I get minus 12x plus 18y minus 24, which is my final answer. D, I don't have a number. I only have a negative sign, but that is really the same as minus 1. So I've got minus 1 times 4x squared and minus 1 times minus 3. So let's write that out on our next line. Minus 1 times minus 3 gives us minus 4x squared plus 3. Our next example has 2 parts. Minus 4 times minus 3x, minus 4 times 2y. It only applies to the numbers that are in the brackets. Minus 4 times 2y. And then the minus 5 is still in the expression, but does not need to be multiplied by minus 4 because it's not in the brackets. So here I get 12x minus 8y minus 5 as my final answer. Now I've got an expression that has a variable on the outside as well. My approach doesn't change. I still need to multiply it by everything inside the brackets. So I've got 3m times 5m plus 3m times 2, which is going to give me a final answer of 15m squared plus 6m. Now I have only a variable out here. So y times 4y, y times minus 3. So I get 4y squared minus 3y as my final answer. And then my final one has a variable outside and 3 terms inside the brackets. So minus 6a times 4 minus 6a times 3a, and then minus 6a times minus 2a squared. So I'll write out all those multiplications. This middle step I'm writing out so that you can see the multiplication that I'm doing. If you can go straight to that second line, you don't need to write out this step right here. So if you can go right to, so we've got minus 24a minus 18a squared plus 12a cubed, that's fine. The last thing that I want to do is make sure that I've written my terms in alphabetical order and in descending order from their exponents. So my a cubed term is going to go first, my a squared term is going to go second, and my a term is going to go last. To wrap up, let's look at some examples involving division. It is very important that you divide all the terms on the top by all the terms on the bottom. So here we would have 7m divided by 7 plus 14 also divided by 7. Our first term here would simplify to 1m. Our second term here would simplify to 2. Our next one here, same thing. We're going to divide each of those terms by 6. So we've got 24x divided by 6 and minus 18y divided by 6. This is going to give us 4x minus 3y. Finally, we've got 3 terms on the top. And we're going to divide that by everything on the bottom. So 6m squared minus 12m cubed over 6m squared. And then the last one is minus 18m squared over 6m squared. Simplifying each piece, I get 4m cubed minus 2m minus 3. Remembering that I'm subtracting my exponents because I'm dividing powers that have the same base. My last one here is the most complicated, but the approach is still the same. I'm going to take each term on the top and divide by the term that's on the bottom. So the second one, minus 24x cubed y squared, divide by minus 12x squared y squared. So in my first term, I start off by dividing my numbers. I get minus 4, x to the 5, y to the 4. Then I've got 2 negatives. Those are going to make positive. So I have plus 2x, and then my y's simplify to 1. And that is my final answer.